The thing is, I could have said something. Right there in that conference room, with everyone nodding and writing her name next to my idea, I could have opened my mouth. I didn't. And I've been asking myself every day since why I chose silence over the one thing I actually deserved. Her name is Priya. We've been friends since before either of us worked at the company, since a cramped apartment we shared after college, splitting the cost of internet and taking turns buying groceries when the other one ran short. That kind of friend. The kind where you stop counting favors because the whole thing is built on trust, not ledgers. We got hired at the same place within 6 months of each other. Different departments at first, then the same team after a restructure. I thought that would be the best thing that ever happened to my career, having someone in my corner who already knew me, who already knew what I was capable of. The idea came to me on a Sunday. Not at my desk, not during a brainstorm, just sitting on my kitchen floor eating cereal out of the box because I hadn't done dishes in 4 days. I was thinking about the retention problem our team had been circling for 2 quarters, and something clicked. A tiered engagement model. Simple on the surface, but with a structure underneath it that solved 3 problems at once. I grabbed my laptop and wrote out 6 pages before I even realized I'd been sitting there for 2 hours. I called Priya that night. I always called Priya. That's what we did, we thought out loud to each other. She listened, asked good questions, pushed back on 2 parts that were weak, and by the end of the call, we'd made it stronger. I remember thinking, this is why we're better together. That's what I thought. The presentation to the senior team was that Thursday. I was still refining the slide deck Tuesday evening when Priya texted me. Said she'd been thinking about the model, wanted to talk it through one more time before I presented it. We met for coffee Wednesday morning. She had notes. Real notes, printed out with her handwriting in the margins. I remember thinking that was sweet that she cared enough to prep. We talked through it for almost an hour. Thursday morning, I woke up to an email from our director. He said he was moving the presentation slot. Something had come up. But he wanted me to know that Priya had already shared the concept with him directly, and he thought it was, quote, exactly the kind of thinking we need right now. He was putting it on the agenda for the senior leadership meeting the following week, with her name on it. I sat with that email for a long time, just sat there. I reread it 4 times like the words might rearrange themselves into something that made sense. She hadn't asked me. She hadn't told me she was going to do it. She'd just taken it and walked it into our director's office and handed it over with her name attached. And our director had lit up the way directors do when they think someone on their team is suddenly showing executive potential. I called her. She answered on the second ring, which told me she'd been expecting it. She said she thought she was helping me. She said I seemed nervous about presenting it, that she knew the director better, that she thought she could position it more effectively than I could. She said all of this like she was doing me a favor, like I should be grateful. And here is the part I'm still not over. The part I keep turning in my hands like a stone I can't put down. I almost believed her. For about 10 minutes, I actually considered that she might be right. That maybe her version of events was the real one. That maybe I was being small, being territorial, missing the bigger picture. She's always been more confident than me in rooms full of senior people. She always knew the right thing to say and when to say it. Part of me had always admired that about her, and some other part of me had always quietly measured myself against it and come up short. But then I thought about those 6 pages I wrote on a Sunday night. I thought about the 2 hours on the kitchen floor with cereal dust on my shirt and an idea forming in real time. I thought about how she hadn't been there. She'd been on the other end of a phone, asking questions, good questions, yes, but asking. Not building, not originating. Asking. The leadership meeting was on a Tuesday. I went. I sat in the back of the room and I watched Priya present my model to 12 people who had never heard of me. She was good. She was really good. She answered every question cleanly. She handled the pushback with this measured calm I genuinely envied, and at the end of it, the VP of strategy said she'd shown real strategic maturity. Real strategic maturity, with my idea in her mouth. And I said nothing. Not during the meeting, not after. Not when people came up to congratulate her in the hallway while I stood 2 feet away and someone handed me a cup of coffee like I was a bystander. I told myself I was waiting for the right moment. I told myself I'd talk to the director privately, set the record straight, let the truth surface on its own. I told myself a lot of things in those first few days, but the moment kept not being right, and Priya kept getting credit, and the director started mentioning her name in senior conversations, and somewhere in there I made a choice by making no choice at all. She texted me 3 days after the meeting, said she was sorry things got complicated, said she hoped we were okay, said she valued our friendship more than any job. I didn't respond for 6 hours. When I finally did, I said, "I know you do." That was it. That was all I said. And she sent back a heart, and we never talked about it again. She got a promotion 4 months later. Partly, maybe mostly, on the back of that proposal. I watched her name go up on the internal announcement, and I thought about Sunday nights and kitchen floors and the exact sound her voice made on the phone when she said, "Tell me more about the tiered part. I don't think you've cracked it yet." She helped me crack it. I'm not pretending she didn't. That's the part that makes this so hard to hold. She wasn't just a thief. She was also, genuinely, someone who made the thing better. And I let her walk away with all of it because somewhere between the admiration and the hurt and the 10 minutes I almost believed her, I ran out of whatever it takes to stand up and say, that was mine. I still work there. Priya and I still get coffee sometimes. We talk about work and her cat and what we're watching, and we do not talk about that Tuesday or the Sunday before it or the 6 pages that started everything. I don't know if what she did was a betrayal or just ambition wearing the wrong face. I don't know if what I did was dignity or cowardice or something I don't have a word for yet. Maybe it was all of those things at once. Maybe that's just what it looks like when 2 people who love each other want the same thing badly enough. But I think about those 6 pages. I think about them a lot. What would you have done?